Welcome to the Coaches Spotlight series on Fitlete Radio. My name is George Wagon III. Now let's meet our coach.
Hi, my name's Dana Carey, and I'm a certified personal trainer at Premier Athletics in Stafford, Virginia. I was a former Division I swimmer at Virginia Tech, so fitness has always been a part of my life. Today, I coach clients who want to improve their lifestyle, whether they're training for a HYROX, working towards a personal goal, or simply creating healthier habits for their lifestyle. I also teach swim lessons, helping swimmers of all ages develop confidence, improve their technique, and understand the importance of water safety. Outside of coaching, I work in public service, focused on addressing homelessness and improving access to housing services. So, balancing both careers has reinforced my belief that fitness should fit into your life and not compete with it. As a coach, I really try to create an environment where people feel challenged and supportive to become the strongest versions of themselves.
While there might be many, take a moment to think about all you've done as a coach and tell me one of your favorite moments as a coach in your career or practice that you have. It doesn't have to be one specific person, place, or thing, but maybe some realization or reaffirming moment you experienced because you were someone's coach.
My favorite moment as a coach isn't necessarily when a client hits a PR, which those are always fun and exciting, but it's when they realize they're capable of so much more than they thought. I've had clients come in feeling intimidated by strength training or convinced they weren't fit enough. And then months later, they're walking into the gym with confidence, doing workouts they never imagined they could do, and believing in themselves. Watching that transformation, both physically and mentally, is really what makes coaching so rewarding for me.
To me, real coaches join the industry with the best intentions. Helping people is pretty much at the core of their mission. Over time and with some new experiences, some further learning, some of these beliefs, methods, techniques, and the general approaches to how we coach can change. No one's perfect when we start. Nobody has the perfect system, especially in the beginning. What's something you used to believe as a new coach, but no longer do, or no longer see as important in your practice as a coach?
That's a really great question. So, obviously, in our industry, things are always changing, right? And I used to think that more was always better, more volume, more intensity, more training. As I've gained experience and realized that consistency beats intensity almost every time. The best programs are the ones people can recover from and actually stick with. So progress comes from showing up week after week, not destroying yourself in one workout.
I've been a coach for about 15 years now, and I can tell you new clients, they come from anywhere, especially nowadays with so much exposure for a business being online and on social platforms. In my career as a personal trainer, I've encountered people in consults who are looking for help, but then say things like, I think I'll get a personal trainer when I'm in better shape. This used to really confuse me. How do you handle prospective clients who've reached out to you for help but don't feel or believe they're ready for your coaching yet?
So I never pressure anyone. Given my experience, I've kind of gone through this myself. There was a time where I needed to take off time from fitness and working out because I just needed that break mentally and physically. And I always just said, oh, I'll get to it when I get to it. Right. So you can't make someone be ready. If they're not ready, they're not ready. Instead, I just try to provide some value, whether that's answering questions or sharing a few tips or pointing them towards resources that can help. Coaching is a partnership and it works best when someone is ready to commit. I'd rather they come back when timing is right than force something that isn't there.
I think being a coach is really unique, and often the methods and systems we use are pretty specific to the person we're working with. We meet people who sit all across this range of being quote unquote bought into the process, and it doesn't always show itself in the initial stages of building a relationship between client and coach. When clients show some resistance to following your advice, how do you handle that situation?
So in those situations, I do try to push back a little bit and, ask questions because if they want to make progress and reach their goals, right, we're gonna have to make changes. So, usually there's a reason behind the resistance. Maybe the plan doesn't fit their lifestyle, maybe they're overwhelmed, or they don't understand the why behind everything. So, my job isn't just to give the workouts, but it's to listen, educate, and adjust the plan while keeping them moving towards their goals.
Simply because of the nature of what we do as coaches, we're going to meet and work with people at various stages in their personal lives and even careers. Without sacrificing a lot of the results, how do you help clients balance some of these really aspirational goals with other life priorities that might create roadblocks or bring conflict?
That is a really relatable question. So, I do try to remind my clients that fitness should support their life, not take over it. Most of my clients have careers, families, responsibilities, right? As we all do. So we focus on what they can realistically do consistently instead of chasing perfection, right? Sometimes the best workout is the one that fits into a busy Tuesday. Long term success comes from flexibility and consistency. So identifying where we can fit it in, what works best with their schedule and their lifestyle, and then maintaining that consistency is really key.
I'm building Fitlete and the resource nexus for coaches and personal trainers to consistently preach a single message that continual learning is essential and it has compounding benefits for a lifelong career in this industry. What's one piece of valuable advice you give to aspiring coaches or coaches who have been in the game for a little bit but have stalled in their career?
Okay, I have two things here. So, continuing education, I think, is key in the ever changing fitness industry. This past year, I attended the Real Coaches Summit and I was just blown away with the amount of information I came back with that I was able to apply and implement into my programming. You have the best of the best in the room, and the peer to peer network connection and lifelong relationships that you develop through attending the Real Coaches Summit was amazing. So, highly recommend that and just continuing to fill your brain with knowledge and implement it in your coaching and educate yourself. Secondly, is coach the person before you coach the program. Every client has a different background, motivation, challenge, right? The best coaches know the science, but they also know how to build relationships, communicate well, and earn trust. So people may forget the workout you wrote, but they'll always remember how you made them feel and how you helped them believe in themselves. So those are the two little tips that I have for everyone. I know for me, I am ever learning and evolving. I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to my mentor, Courtney Dorsey from Premier Athletics, who has really helped guided me through my own journey as a coach and really provided me the feedback and guidance that I need to be a better version of myself, individually, as a coach, as a mom, all the things. So, yeah.
That's all for this episode. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing some of this great info about yourself and what you do as a coach. I'm glad I got to know you a little bit more through this episode, and I'm glad some listeners got to know you for the very first time through this show. All your info is in the show notes, so anyone who's listening out there wants to stay in touch, please visit those show notes to find that information and reach out to them at any point. If you want to learn a little bit more about Fitlete and our resource nexus for coaches and personal trainers, visit fitlete.com. That's Fitlete.com. Thanks. I'll talk to you soon.